Have you ever wanted to study the Bible like a pastor, but it just confuses you? Now, I'm not one, but I want to show you how to use the S.P.E.C.K Bible study method. And by using AI, you can have a pastor at your fingertips. We can get a deeper understanding of the Bible. My name is Craig, and this is Morning Star Life, where we can discover the wisdom for the Bible today. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to get more into the Bible and you want to see more like this. And I would love you to, well, help YouTube show it to others, where you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description. Thank you in advance. Everybody talks about how influential the Bible is, but how does it impact today, your today? And I am assuming that you don't have a pastor at your beck and call that you can call at 3 a.m. to who knows what you want to find out. But, and let's face it, the Bible can be confusing. And if there is something that you find confusing, put it in the comments, and I would love to be able to do another video like this about that. So what is the S.P.E.C method? Well, I'm glad you asked. Now, S.P.E.C is an acronym, and it is a Bible study method. Now, applying S.P.E.C method to verses, well, it's easy. You can do it just as you're reading it. But what about characters? What about verses? What about books? Stories? Well, we need some help with this, and that's where AI comes in. And the best way to do this is just to show you, but it comes with a warning, and I'll get into that as we go, and it'll make sense. Now, like I said, S.P.E.C is a Bible study method that stands for sin to confess and avoid, promise to claim, example to follow, command to obey, knowledge about God to acquire. And this method can be used to help you get a deeper understanding of the Bible and relevance to your own life. So, how do we apply this? We can apply this to John 3:16. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it will help you, because it's a cliche, try and find out what's happening with this S.P.E.C method. Going over John 3:16 and seeing, is there a sin to confess and avoid? Then go over John 3:16 and see, is there a promise to be claimed? Go over John 3:16 and find out, is there an example to follow? Etc. So to make a little bit more sense, let's go over to Bard. Now, you can use Google Bard, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Bing Chat, and you can even use Anthropic Claude. But for today, we're going to use Bard. There's one thing that will make so much more sense, that we can double check our work, see if it's actually telling us some stuff or just making stuff up. We'll go through that in a sec. So now I'll put this in the description, because what I'm going to do is copy, go over to Bard, and we go to John 3:16. So let's do that. So how do we apply this? So apply John 3:16 to the following S.P.E.C method. And then we go Shift, Enter. So we don't just enter because it'll get confused. And then I paste in that text that I showed you. Now we can enter. Like I said, there is a bit of a danger with this, because Google Bard, ChatGPT, they can come up with some stuff that really sometimes it's just not correct. And it is a bit of a danger, but I'll show you in a sec. So apply John 3:16, sin to confess and avoid, unbelief. Now, sometimes it gives you this in more detail. Sometimes it gives you in less detail. Sin to confess, the rejection of Jesus. Oh, it's giving us 3:19. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, every time you do this, you'll get it different. You'll get it in different formats. ChatGPT will give it to you in a different way. Down the bottom here, you've got modify your response. You can make it shorter. You can make it longer. You can make it simpler. You can make it more casual, more professional. Let's go more casual. And then we can even go in more professional, and we can see what that comes up with. Look at that. It's got way more detail. Depends on what you want. This is your pastor, not mine. One thing we need to be very careful of is AI can give you very weird. Sometimes I have thought, wow, that is so cool. I did not know that. And then I find out that with a Google search that it was totally made up. How do we know that? So if we go down the bottom, and we've got the Google double check response. So if I click that, and what it will do is it'll search the internet, and it will come up with, now we've got all the green. Now actually, where is it? Understanding the results. Google search found content that's similar to the statement. So it's saying, yes, it is pretty much verified. Not completely, but pretty much. Google found content that is likely different from the statement, or it didn't find relevant content. Now, the interesting thing here is Nicodemus. This is an example to follow. Nicodemus was a Jewish leader who came to Jesus at night to learn more about him. He was a humble man who was willing to ask questions. He also believed in Jesus, even though it was dangerous to do so. Now, I don't know why it's coming up with that. Obviously, it's not verifiable. And so we really need to take it with a grain of salt with the red. But even with the green, I want to go through something in a sec that will help us with that as well. And this is what's so great. We can apply anything from the Bible to our own lives and how we should live. Okay, well, apply Genesis to the S.P.E.C.K method. Now, we don't have to cut and paste it in again. Because we're in the same chat, it should remember everything. We've got sin to confess. Pride. Genesis 3 tells the story of Adam and Eve disobeying God by eating the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This was an act of pride, as they wanted to be like God. We must confess and avoid pride in our own lives. And you can go through this with each example: command to obey, knowledge to acquire. We can go double click. Now we've got all this green, so we can pretty much take in what it's saying. It's interesting. The conclusion is the bit that it's probably not quite. There's something in that we need to be careful of. Now, as I said, you can apply this to anything, everything in the Bible and apply it to your own life as we live today. And like I said, you can apply this for anything. You can apply this to Moses. You can apply this to Aaron, his brother. You can apply this to the story of a whole heap of characters, people, verses. Like I said, verses, you could probably do this yourself. Big picture, or maybe there's something you're not quite sure, you don't really understand it. This may help you understand passages that you never thought of before. Now, sometimes it doesn't do it so well. Apply the story of Cain and Abel to the S.P.E.C.K method. I've done this about 4 times and it keeps coming up with some errors. Let's see if it does this time. Hopefully, every single time I've tried to do Cain and Abel's story, I do not have enough information about this person to help your response. I'm a large language model, etc., etc., etc. I don't know why it's just this story. I can do every other story, but Cain and Abel. However, I did this to ChatGPT and it found it easy. And there's no way I can verify this because I have ChatGPT 3.5. Maybe in the paid version you can probably get it, but I don't know how to do that in ChatGPT to get verifications. There is another way to verify the Bible, and that's to read it. Many people find the Bible hard to read, but don't worry. In this video, I will show you how to overcome this and to start reading the Bible like a pro. And by the end, you'll be able to understand the Bible and how it applies to your life. Go do something awesome for God, and I'll catch you in the next one.